We just got the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. That's the 11 a.m. advisory on Tropical Storm Erin. So let's take a look at what's changed and honestly what hasn't. There hasn't been a ton of changes from the 5 a.m. update to the 11 a.m. update. This is going to be a slow developing system. Here it is in the Atlantic. This is kind of west of the Cabo Verde Islands and continuing a westerly track, not moving at too slow of a speed, 23 miles per hour as it continues to push towards the west. So let's continue to look at the track of this storm. Continuing a westward push kind of throughout the entire week this week. Slow development of this system is expected here within the next 2 days. The sea surface temperatures in this area, not quite as high as they could be, but not necessarily low. So this system is going to work off that here for the next couple of days and continue developing until we're talking about our first hurricane of the season, potentially by sometime on Thursday. Not only that, but as we push into the weekend, we could be talking about a Category 2 storm and still forecasted to become a major hurricane by the time we're talking about Sunday sometime in the morning. That would be, again, our first hurricane of the season and definitely our first major hurricane of the season. But a lot of uncertainty still remains with this system. You can see how tight the cone is here for the next 2 days or so, and then how much it broadens out heading into the second half of the week. There's a lot of question marks still on the intensity of this storm. Will it really become a major hurricane and where it will really drift? Even the impacts here on the Leeward Islands is still unknown at this time. So this is just something we're going to have to be watching for kind of the next week and a half too, especially because we still don't really know if this system will hold on to its strength and where it's going to go beyond that forecasted cone. Some of these ensembles have this pushing out further into the Atlantic, becoming a fish storm, watching for impacts on Bermuda, and some of them have it tracking further towards the west and maybe making its way towards the U.S. coast. But again, a lot of disagreement among the models here, and we just have to be watching this over the next couple of days. Not the only thing that we're watching in the tropics, although the other two areas of potential tropical development looking rather unimpressive at this time. This is a low pressure system in the northwestern Atlantic right here, a non-tropical low pressure system being watched only because it's sitting over the warm waters of the Gulf Stream. Here's the thing though, you can see only a 10% chance of development overall with this system. It'll stay over these warm waters only throughout the day today and into early tomorrow. Then it's going to gradually drift away into cooler waters, and that will squash its chance of development overall. Likely, we're not looking at anything develop with this system. Another region that's been kind of tagged but given 0% chance of development overall is this area, this trough of low pressure here in the northern Gulf. This is producing some disorganized showers and thunderstorms. The overall reason that the National Hurricane Center has tagged this is because it's pushing tropical-like moisture into the deep south here. So states like Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, even the panhandle here of Florida, are going to get a good bit of rainfall that could pose some impacts in terms of flash flooding. So those are the only other two areas that we're watching in the Atlantic. Again, we'll continue to keep our eye on Tropical Storm Erin. It's just going to be a system we're following over the next week.